Have you ever heard of King Midas? Maybe you've heard the phrase the Midas touch. In English, it means someone who can turn anything into success, like a business deal that always makes money. In Greek and Roman mythology, Midas was a king who asked for everything he touched to turn to gold. At first, this looks like a gift, but then it becomes a curse. He touches a twig, it becomes gold. He touches a chair, it becomes gold. He hugs his daughter, she becomes gold. He lifts his bread, it becomes gold. He realizes his mistake. He cannot eat. He cannot live like this. Desperate and starving, he begs Dionysus to undo the curse. The god tells him to bathe in the river. Midas does this and the curse washes away. On the surface, this is a simple moral tale about greed, right? Be careful what you wish for. Don't love money more than life. Well, that version comes from Ovid, a Roman poet around the time of Jesus. For most people, that's where this story starts and ends. A neat Greek myth about the dangers of wealth. Except there really was a king called Midas. We found his kingdom. Gordion in modern-day Turkey was home of the Phrygians. They are real people and they really did have a king called Midas. They controlled trade routes and had access to gold from nearby rivers. So the name is real, the place is real, the river is real. But what about the story? The idea that wealth can kill you or that gold becomes poison goes all the way back. This story is not Greek. It is way older than that. In Mesopotamian texts from 2000 BC, we find the same warning repeatedly. The instruction of a Menemope from Egypt states, "Better is bread with a happy heart than wealth with vexation." And Egyptian harper songs warned, "None is allowed to take his goods with him. None that has gone has come back." In Sumerian story, the underworld is full of people who chased gold and found only dust. The Epic of Gilgamesh hammers this home. No wealth can defeat debt. Your city walls matter more than your treasure. These aren't just about one cursed king. They are ancient wisdom teachings, rules for life. Wealth is sterile. Gold can't feed you. Abundance without restraint becomes famine. These ideas traveled through trade networks. Phoenician merchants to Syrian traders to Anatolian kingdoms. The Phrygians sat in the middle of all these trade routes, and they knew that the dangers of gold were real. Ancient gold mining was horrific work. You could get mercury poisoning and arsenic exposure, and the tunnels collapsed. People forced to mine gold often died, and regions with gold mining had higher debt rates, contaminated water, and poisoned soil. The story explains how the river went gold because Midas had to bathe in it. But what's more likely is this greedy king caused the river to go gold by over-extracting. The golden touch is a warning about over-extraction. But by the time this reaches Rome, it's had a complete makeover. The story becomes about a specific Eastern king, not a universal human failing. To the Romans, Midas is portrayed as this foreign leader who does not understand wealth. The problem isn't greed, it's that the barbarians can't handle civilization. This is perfect for Rome because it normalizes and naturalizes their extraction of those eastern regions. They get to say, "We're just cleaning up." The Romans knew gold mining was lethal. They had already taken over Spanish mines where thousands of workers had died from mercury poisoning and lead poisoning. They had conquered the Dacian gold fields in Romania and extracted 450 tons of gold in just over 100 years, using the most brutal techniques available. The Romans brought mining technology from Spain, specifically to extract more gold effectively. They understood how toxic this process was. Mine workers had life expectancies measured in years, not decades. This is a perfect example of Roman propaganda. The fault is with a foreign king, not the Romans. Eastern gold is already tainted, so we're just purifying it. It's moralizing Roman intervention. Instead of being the ancient warning against greed and over-extraction that it was intended to be, It becomes silly barbarian king, looks for too much and then starves. But if you learn your lesson, you can wash the curse away, and now the gold is clean and Roman. Meanwhile, real people are dying in Roman mines across the empire just to produce gold coins. The original wisdom is correct. A thirst for gold will kill you. Not through a magic poisoning, but in environmental collapse. The ancient Mesopotamians and Egyptians knew this. They built entire moral teachings around that fact. But the Roman Empire needed resource. So this universal warning becomes a story about one king's mistake. The deepest lesson of all here is if somebody tells you a simple moral story about an individual's greed, ask who benefits from you believing that version of the story.